Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi reportedly have asked President Biden that he doesn't have a chance to stay in the race to beat Trump. They're worried about it. Minutes ago, reportedly, President Obama has encouraged him to step aside as well. What's your reaction to that, and does that change your view on President Biden's chances for re-election?
President Biden right now is the Democratic nominee. He has my support, but I share the concerns that many of my colleagues have expressed. I'm going to be going back to Washington beginning of next week, and I would think consulting with members of the Senate about what the best direction is, since many of us share these concerns.
If it's not Biden, should it be Kamala Harris or someone else in your view?
I'm not going to speculate at this point on who might be the replacement if President Biden decides, and it's his decision, that he will not be the nominee. There are 2 points that are important. Number one, President Biden is the one to decide. Right now, he is the nominee. He has my support. But I think he's hearing these concerns, and I am really troubled about the kinds of concerns that have been raised and the need for President Biden to show more outreach, more direction, and I think that we may see changes.
Does it worry you that the Democratic Party, they're kind of turning within themselves and hurting their chances long term? You need to have a united front. Do you think these fractures are doing the Democratic Party any favors?
We will be unified at the end of the day as a party, as a country, because I think Donald Trump represents a real threat to the democracy that we hold so dear.
What was your reaction to Saturday's attempted assassination of the former president and just the failures we're seeing with the Secret Service? Does any of what we're learning about the investigation trouble you? And how is the Congress going to hold them accountable?
Here's what's really important. I had a briefing yesterday from the Secret Service and the FBI, and I was shocked, appalled. There should be an investigation, independently, non-politically, right away, into how that political violence was permitted to occur. It could have been prevented. It should have been prevented. I was shocked and appalled by the briefing we had yesterday about the total abject security failure by the Secret Service.
Do you think the director should keep her job, given what happened?
I think that is a big question. Whether the present head of the Secret Service keeps her job is a question, but more important, how do we correct the system so that it functions better? How do we improve the agency? Because there was clearly a lapse and abject failure in security that permitted the shooter to gain the position physically he did, to have the weapon that he used, and to have the lapse in security when he was cited a substantial amount of time before he actually pulled the trigger.
And will you ensure that the findings of the investigation are transparent? Because I know a lot of Americans have questions about this.
The American people deserve to know how this security failure occurred. It was abject, unforgivable, and there should be an investigation, and then the American people should be given the results, all of them. And the agency and the system should be improved. It's not about one person at the head of the agency, it's about how the system failed.
Do you think the Secret Service needs more funding? A lot of the times they rely on these local law enforcement agencies for these big events. Clearly these local agencies might not have the proper training. Do you think there needs to be more funding for the Secret Service?
The whole system is in need of review if it occurred this kind of lapse in security to occur. Local, state have to be part of the system, but the focus ought to be on the Secret Service because ultimately they have the responsibility. The buck stops with the Secret Service. It failed. We need to know why, and the results of this investigation need to be made fully transparent to the American people.
Thank you very much.